In my house. Live from Detroit, Michigan, USA. In my house. In my house. In my house. Hosted by T. Carlita. In my house. Hosted by T. Carlita. Hosted by T. Carlita. Hosted by T. Carlita. Live from Detroit, Michigan, USA. Live. In my house. In my house. Hosted by T. Carlita. Where the true stories are told and great music is played. Okay. All right. This is T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show, and it is a true honor and a privilege to have two of the most talented brothers this side of Detroit, Michigan, USA. Brother Kafani and Brother Waajeed. What's up, guys?
What up, though? What up, though?
See? That's what I'm talking about. So, I'm kind of speechless because I've been following Kafani for about, oh man, I think 6 or 7 years now, or maybe longer, watching you dance all over the place. I have my camera following you. And Waajeed, I met you a couple of times, you know, here and there, but we never really had a chance to just like get together. So timing is of the essence, and it's all perfect.
Always.
But what I really want to say, stalking and making sure I got you in here when you guys put out that first video off your Shango EP. Mm-hmm. And when I saw it, I was like, this guy right here, that was the right one. So just first of all, before we go into Shango, before we go into all of this stuff, how did you guys, did you always know each other, or how'd you guys connect? That's what I want to know.
Well, speaking of stalking,
okay.
It was a period of time that after I created Shango and all the deep inspiration that kind of came from it, which is multiple layers, more time we got to talk today.
Okay.
I did some research and to find out who Kafani was. Mm-hmm. And I called around several sources, and folks was like, yeah, it's this guy, he's mysterious. So, so there was some difficulty finding him, but as soon as I hooked up with Strings from Hardcore, mm-hmm. He directed me to Kafani, and it was pretty much easy after that. I knew Kafani's dancing from Rhythm Kitchen. Mm-hmm. Way back in the day. Yeah. Okay. Over 10 years ago.
Wow.
And I remember he had like a really unique style of dancing then, and I had seen little bits and videos of him here and there, and the track was so unique. Mm-hmm. I felt like it needed to be balanced by someone as unique. So that's how I began my stalking of trying to find out who.
Stalking can pay off eventually, right?
I mean, it did pay off. The last 2 videos. So.
And speaking of Strings, they were on the show. Strings has been on my show a few times actually, mm-hmm. and they call you the GrandMaster of cultural dance. Is that
yeah?
right?
It actually came about from dancing, and I'm real technical, I guess you could say, and I pride myself on musicality. Okay. Most people don't know it's really GrandMaster. It's like I wanted to throw some Japanese vibe in there. It's like you hear people say Wakari Master, but it's GrandMaster Kafani, because people were talking about the form, and most people dance, and I said no, this is my form of dance. Mm-hmm. For me learning and everything. Mm-hmm. I was happy when Strings called me, because I was like about the track of the G. He sent it to me, and we were in between listening to the tracks. He was sending me a track and everything, and he was laughing because when I first heard it, I was like, yo, this sounds like Godzilla walking through Africa. And he bust out laughing. He's like, yo, that's like about the best thing for us. So that track, and that especially with that the sound coming in and how the beat comes in, people don't know how much it's layered, and that's why even me and myself, I said, no, I have to dance
That's amazing. Yeah. And the video, the concept of the video, who's the brainchild behind the? Well, it's yours, of course. But in the mastermind of yourself, what made you even go that direction? Because I know you have a nice hip hop background. You have a photography. You have, like you said, it ain't enough to talk about in 1 hour. But you come from the J Dilla circuit. You come from Slum Village. You come from Detroit, pure hip hop. And now you're doing this, which I don't even know what to really, like, nobody really, I don't know if you put it in a category, so to speak.
No, I just put it in the category of greatness.
Yeah.
You know,
and good music, right?
Yeah, you know, like, there are 2 categories, crap music and great music.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's the truth, yeah.
So those are the only genres that really exist to me as a student of Mojo. So,
Mojo again. Mojo's been mentioned twice, or a lot of times on this show. So
Mojo might get mentioned a couple more times during this show.
No, Mojo won't come. You know Mojo don't come out.
They just called.
No, it's so funny though. We'll go back for 1 second. A number of names was on here, right? And they were telling this story how they got their name, and it was Mojo and Jim McFarland gave them the name, but what was interesting, it was a thunderstorm when they were here in the studio. I'm telling you the truth. As soon as we start talking about Mojo, why did at that moment the whole rumble just hit? You can hear it in the background. We was like, "Hey, Mojo, you hear? Okay, we got it." But so when you sat down and thought about putting the track together. So how did you go from track to the visual? Because something that I want to just say thank you so much for bringing the music to a visual life.
Absolutely.
Because
That's
all
important.
of our music, all of our music is good, it's clubby, it feels good, it's concert, it's festival, but we don't, you know, we grew up on video.
There's no visual representation.
There's no visual representation.
That's so important that you mentioned that, because, you know, as a student of Mojo and a student of the scene, watching black people dance, you know, to the most modern music possible, you know what I'm saying, has always been in my vocabulary. So as a way of paying respect to that, it was necessary to shoot a video for Shango. And I hit up my homeboy Max from New York, and pretty much like we just played it by ear, you know, and we walked around, and I feel like the locations found us instead of us finding locations.
Even on both, it's just the Most High, you know, like bringing it all together. The locations we did and how we did the energy. They were like, bring a few outfits. And as soon as he came out, I saw the joystick. I was like, yo, I got this red, black, and green one. He was like, yeah, Bop, that's the one. Yes, I got my crown. I was like, cool, Bop, that's the one. And so everything just came together, and I'm glad that we let the Most High bring it together, because sometimes you can plan stuff and it doesn't go, but it all came out so smooth. We know who the best planners are. Oh yeah, we do.
I mean, I know we do. Y'all need to know. It ain't gonna work until it's supposed to. That's why they sit here now.
No, matter of fact, just to go back, when we made the last video, it was a point. Remember the time we chilled and we crashed for a second, and after I said, you know, Tim, she mentioned something about us getting on the radio show. She said, you know what, when I'm doing a little traveling, we'll get back together and maybe we'll come on. We spoke on it.
We did. Yeah, the last video shoot.
On the last video shoot. Yeah,
wow, that's awesome. And then I ran into you at Charivari. And I said, you know, I got to get y'all. He was like, hook it up. Let me know. We can make it happen. I said, we got to make it happen.
Absolutely.
So I do believe in divine order. There's nothing greater than that. So, and that's the truth. So. But that is really, really amazing. So that's good. So when you sat down and you thought about it, we're going to fast track to forward. But where did you come? What inspired you to do the Shango? What was the inspiration behind it? I mean, besides the Mojo and the scene, but it has something else.
The actual track Shango, you mean?
Yes.
You know, I could. I mean, there's too much to name.
Okay.
a combination of, I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things, and that's why this sound is so unique, I feel. It's a combination of hip-hop, it's a combination of our mother Africa, it's a combination of Detroit-influenced techno music, and most of all, you know what, like, a lot of tracks I can say that I pulled a little bit from here and I pulled a little bit from here, but this particular one, I feel like it was some divine instrumentation happening with this track.
Okay.
I feel like I was an instrument of Shango and the rest of the divine richness that, you know, like gave me, I won't even say the inspiration, they used me to create this track. You know what I'm saying? It's so yeah, it's spiritual.
A little bit of ancestral channeling.
Oh yeah.
Because you know what is that instrument?
Like a mug.
What's that instrument where you that? Oh my God.
Yeah. It was something that just said that, you know, like, this is what's supposed to be used. These are the colors that you're using. Okay. This is the person that you're using, meaning this brother and Max.
And these are the locations y'all gonna do it at.
And just shut up and get out the way.
Yeah.
So there's some times where you drive and most of it, and there's some times where you need to be in the passenger seat. Yeah. And I was totally in the passenger seat. I've been in the passenger seat for these last 2 EPs.
That's awesome. Yeah. So let's give the people who, if y'all haven't seen this yet, we're gonna let them see what we talking about, and hopefully you guys will be inspired to do great things and just feel what I felt when I first saw it. And I was just telling Kafani, over time, when I first watched it, like, it felt so right there. You know, even through a computer screen, I felt so much energy coming off of it.
Even the camelback, and I don't want to say piggyback, the more say that we shouldn't say it, so it's hilarious. Even the camelback off of what he was saying, during that time, I know it's for the Most High, because literally during that time, that's during my fasting of Ramadan. So I don't.
We need to mention that as well. That's a big thing.
I don't really dance, so it was down to a movement. People wanted me to do things. I'm turning down money. I'm like, no, I don't do this. And then strings, it's like, yo, he said, I know, because strings isn't even really dance. He said, if you want to do it, but I even prayed on it and just felt right. So literally the day, it was one of the hottest days during that time.
In the summer.
I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking water or anything. It was like, yo, can we get some? I was like, no, that's right now. So literally, so we shot it in segments and parts. So literally, when you see everything you see is coming from me, it's coming from me. So there was a whole link to that there and everything, and so that people are feeling that energy too, the energy of Shango, the energy of the bead, the energy of fasting, and then somebody, and so most people don't really realize I don't dance. I like he says, he uses the body as a form. When I move, it's in praise of God, cause you know I don't, even if you see me dance, people are like, why do you always stay on beat? I can't dance off beat. You know what I mean? Even it's and when I'm teaching house, I say it's in the house. And if you step out of the house, you stepped off beat. So most people don't even realize. Most people don't even realize that. Even most of the dancers, quote unquote house dancers, now a lot of them know movements, but they don't know how to stay on beat. Back in the day, you had to be on beat.
Yeah, that was definitely required.
Well, oh yeah.
And if you didn't, you're gonna be stepping on somebody's toes.
If you didn't, you wouldn't be in my house.
Oh, yeah.
That's so true. So on that note, let's take a look at this awesome, phenomenal video by this guy right here with the ultimate dancer right here. That's a big word, man. But we're going to talk about that later. All right, this is T. Carlita. Check out Shango. We'll be right back to talk about the next EP. Ooh, how about that? What's happening now? T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show, where the true stories are told and great music is definitely played.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. You know, most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Chabris wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Take the first step towards staying in your home by going down to the Wayne County Treasurer's office on the 5th floor of the International Building in Greektown.
Stop by today to learn more about our payment plans and especially the newly extended interest rate reduction program.
Already in the payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in Rite Aid stores and community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
All right, so we are back with Kafani, GrandMaster, and see, I learned something too, and Waajeed, aka Gito, right? Yeah, I don't forget.
Only my close friends call me.
Okay, I'm close.
Yeah, you close.
Y'all don't start. Don't get it twisted.
On the internet, don't call me Gito.
Please don't.
Please.
All right, so let's talk about the art form of dance, and like I said, I've been following you, watching you, and let's talk about when you're in your zone. And I've seen you in your zone on several occasions. So what happens when you're in your zone and people just decide, hey, or they try to get your attention? How do you respond? It's like, you know, almost like when the DJ is in his zone and somebody want to ask, can you play a Beyonce, but this is a techno party? So, oh, shaking your head off. Can you play that remix though? It's got to be the remix, then that way it fits. But so what happens when you're in your zone and people try to get your attention?
People, you know, even when we go back, it's deep that it's on Shango. When you go back to the drum and you think about thunder and lightning, the DJ or the composer and the dancer always met. When I was learning Congolese dance and even down in technique, they said, and the dancer must sooner or later become a drummer. So it's like that relationship going. So I know when people, even when I came to him, I waited for when he was DJing. When he looked back at me, I was like, yeah. Or I think I greeted you in front of you, like, yeah, gave you a pound. Like, so when I'm dancing and when I get in my zone, people don't really realize it's not me dancing to music. It's the music moving through me.
Okay.
So when people disturb that, it disturb me, and it really disturbs me. And most times, at times, I have to say truthfully, it's either the drunkest person or the craziest person, or some people would just want to touch me. Matter of fact, at the last gig that he was doing, there was one man in the audience. I'm getting it in. I'm dancing. Or G was playing a track. It was banging. You know, I'm getting it in. It's bad enough we're in that little walkway where you can only get a little room. She grabs me and touches me, and I'm like, yo, and she was like, oh, excuse me, and she paused for a second. I was like, what? She's like, you move so much like that guy in Shango video. Do you know him? I was like, that is me. She was like, oh shit, it is you. And she said, when I saw you moving, it had to be. But what was good about me, what made me feel good, it's a distinctness to his music right now. And to be in Detroit with all the years of techno house, to have a distinct sound is not easy. And then for me to be a distinct dancer, and for her to see me, and say, you move like him, and then she was like, yo, so that's you know, that's a real good thing, and that tells you it's taking you all the way back to those, people call it ancestral roots, but I call it you know, one of the first formulas learned 5% is constant elevation causes expansion, and really that whole expansion right there is right there. So yeah, you know, people offend me. Sometimes they do it. I've offended some people. Sometimes I have to apologize to people afterward, because when they do that, I'm trying to finish this move.
Yeah.
that the music is dictating.
You don't stop Picasso.
Like you making a beat, somebody come in like this. I hate that about DJs. Usually when the DJ is in there, I come and get in my pocket. Sometimes a DJ be in the zone, and then they agree with me. I let them be in that place because most people don't really realize what they do is spiritual.
It is spiritual.
There are 5 divisions in reality that it comes from sound, light, silence, light, sound, to vibration, to matter, and they're getting what you don't realize. They're getting this from silence.
Yeah.
So where is it coming from? Where did it? I wanted to ask you, where did you get the bang 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 bang, and especially in Shango, and what was the first sound that like drew you, or how did you build?
Hey, you doing my job. No,
I always wanted to ask him, and me and him came.
Well, I'm so glad that we got a platform for you to do this. So, what he said. I was wondering about that too.
The honest question is, I don't know.
Oh, good answer.
Steve, that's the best answer.
That's the best answer.
That's the most honest answer, because there are tracks that you remember making in my career, and then there are things that I don't remember making it at all. I wake up the next day and there's something in front of me. So it's like magic. You know?
It made you.
It made me. So Shango was definitely one of those tracks where I don't remember hitting a note on the keyboard. And I know that might sound weird to people out there listening, like, you know what I'm saying, like some ghost production. Is he doing, you know, is he putting somebody else on
that's really good,
most production.
The most. That's what it is, you know. And
I think that's why, you know, when you do something from your inner soul, inner gut, that's the stuff that really resonates and hits people that are enlightened to see and hear and understand. It hits you in a certain way that just something random is different. It's very different. So I understand spirituality, and I mean, when you go back to ancestral forms of vibrations and music, and we come from the most spiritual man created. So I understand that part. So I understand. And I'm glad you asked that question, and I hope that you accept the answer you received.
I wish I had more.
No. But you know what? I perfectly understand, because sometimes people be like, "What made you do that move or that movement? What
You
made
just
you
don't know.
go on your toes?" And I don't remember. Some people say,
You right
"Do you
there
remember
in it.
when you?" And I'll be like, "No, I was just literally
You was in it.
literally in it, and letting the music play through me."
I'll say this. Somebody asked me, because the gig that you're talking about where this woman walked up to was the most recent gig here in Detroit, called Detroit Love, which is something that's put together by Carl Craig and curated by he and his wife and his team, and they pick Detroit-based or Detroit-centric DJs to play at one place. And this is probably one of the best parties I've ever played at in my career in terms of just vibrations, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody bringing their top game, you know what I'm saying? Because they know the person in the next room is really going at it. And I happened to play with Jay Daniel, big up to Jay Daniel, that night, and Jay set it off. So it was just like, okay,
The bar was already there.
I already got the layup, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's my responsibility to bring it home. And, you know, I knew that you was coming, so the energy was high, but I'm saying that to say, a guy asked me my track list for that night. And it's just like, bro, I don't even know what I played.
Hope somebody recorded it, because I really don't know.
You know, and this is very true to what we do. I feel like when you do what you do for out of a place of respect and gratitude and praise towards the Most High for giving you this opportunity, you're not making a list about what you do to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's like they say he's making a list, he's checking it twice. Like, no, we're not making no list. We're just doing this, you know what I'm saying, because it's in celebration of our ancestors and, you know, like our just gratitude to be able to do this job.
So let's talk about travel real quick, because I know both of you are world travelers. You just been in and out and all over the place.
Yeah, I'm out.
You in and out and all over the place. Thank you for making this happen. Thank you for making this happen.
Right.
But you know, playing in Detroit like you said, just talk about that just a little bit. Going over, everybody has their own story about playing overseas and all this other kind of stuff, and then to be able to play at home, like, wow. So what is it like for you on the road? How do you prepare for that, or do you prepare, or do you kind of like still go on, you know, a vibe instinct? How do you prepare for those situations?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Playing on the road is one of the most complicated things ever.
Okay.
It's complicated, you know. It's hard work. There's a reason why you hear about these DJs getting these crazy amounts of money to be able to go to a town and just play records. It's not that simple. It's really like, you know, it's really like a therapist. You play the role of therapist, you play the role of drug dealer, you play the role of bartender, you play the role of shoulder to cry on, you know what I'm saying? Because when people come and they pay their X amount of money to get into the club, they have expectations from you. They have expectations of you to, like, I want to forget about everything that I did this week, and I just want to just, you know, take me someplace. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Help me transcend this moment. Right. And that's not an easy job, you know. It's not an easy job.
And then you're in different environments, you're in different venues, you don't know who's gonna be there or what kind of crowd is gonna be.
You don't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? So you have to expect the unexpected. So I guess I'm saying that to say that you have to put your energy in something that's really based in something that's not in the moment that you're in. Sure, the club, you know, the promoter, the people standing in front of you. You have to think about that. That's a byproduct. But you really have to tap into something else in order to really be able to, one, serve your creator, and then serve yourself, and then serve the public that you stand in front of. So, and then, you know, like, you go from standing in front of 10,000 people to come home, and it's just like, yo, you got to put that ego back in your pocket. That same ego that you need to stand in front of them 100 people, them 1,000 people, and give them that energy and lead that room to a place of, you know, greatness. You got to come home, and then you got to put that in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? You can't walk around. You can't go in the grocery store like that. You can't stand in a restaurant, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of Corner Gardens like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that entitlement and that ego and kind of, so that's the balance. That's the balance.
And Detroit will check you real quick.
Real quick.
So
I'm so grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we keep you in check.
To be able to be around people that, you know, like, that balance you out, and you know that, you know what I'm saying, you can't step on some type of superstar.
Right.
And to realize the importance of, you know, not, I'm important because you're important. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're important because this show is important. So, you know, so that's the long answer to what's it like to travel. But at the end of the day, it's always a privilege to come home and play.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like the new Detroiters can, you know, they kind of get in the way of that. They learning, you know what I'm saying? They learning.
They gotta be educated.
They gotta be educated. You know what I mean? But because that night I just found out that Kafani couldn't get into the party.
I know, because of the new Detroit.
Yeah, the new Detroit. I was like, he was playing the song. I was like, this is like my.
In case you all don't know what we mean by the new Detroit, just Google it. You'll figure it out. We're not gonna tell you what we mean. That's home. We don't tell y'all what we talking about. Y'all find out if you ever come. Go ahead.
No, but you're right. With that whole there was a lot of new Detroiters for sure. But yeah, that ethic. But just like he said, even I called. He said, "No, you on the list, you good." And the guy was giving me problems at the door. I was like, "Look, man, if it's a problem," I said, "Money." I was like, "How much do you need?" He's like, $20. So I just gave him money. The thing about it is one thing that we do that's lacking, I think, amongst young males now is manhood. I respect Waajeed because he's a man. He respect me because we're men of our words. Yeah. It would have been flaky for me to come and be like, "Yo, I don't feel like paying him $20. I'm on the list." I would have understood. No. But to me, you would have understood. But to me, my whole thing is, this is my bro. I'm coming. Oh man, sorry about that. That happened to me. So wife.
No,
But
I would have understood if you would have been like, nah, man, I ain't paying a $20 to get in there.
No, he'd have paid $40 to get in and be like, dog, you gotta hook me back up.
I would have.
No, but you know what? But you know what, Benji?
I would have.
Truthfully, with us being on a circuit like this and quote unquote being somebody, truthfully, so many people have invited me to part. There's so many things I've done that I have not paid. Even movement the last.
Yeah.
Almost 7 years. So to pay for somebody I know and then I step in and the song we did together banging.
But you know that's something else too. And
I was waiting on you to play.
Look, this is the thing though. This is the thing that really has to happen though. And I feel like what happens like when you all are hired to do something or you got to show up for something. I feel that the club owners or whoever they don't really pay attention to who they're bringing into the club, because there's no way they didn't know who the DJ that was on deck. They should at least did some research and Googled you and looked you up or something. They don't do that, do they? They just have you come in, play your hour, 2 hour set, and go home.
We just cannon fodder. You know what I'm saying? They use us to get to their bottom lines. Which is, I mean, it's understandable. It's the business, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's up to us to look after each other.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have a huge responsibility for not making sure that my guests got in correctly. So that's on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I carry that weight, and this is also another part of being a DJ. You got to carry that weight. You know what I'm saying? Of like your word meaning something, and you know ultimately, I owe you $20.
No.
You don't buy your lunch at the next one.
About it,
Just won't be doing it.
The greatest thing about it for me was that just like I see Waajeed come up and him banging. Two of my best friends, like literally, me and Carl Craig go back to Lutheran school.
You should have been on Carl Craig's list then.
No, I mean, no, but like we go so back and like I remember when he started kicking it with Derek. I remember introducing Stacy Pullen to Derek May. Matter of fact, we were looking
played that night
because Stacy played that night too. So winding up, I greeted Stacy, and then like one dude was trying to act all funny about me coming on stage. Stacy was like, no. He got it. So when I waited for a second, greeted Kirk, he was like, man, I know you back from history. So we sitting there laughing when I look at but these people, no, they don't have a clue. They didn't really understand who Waajeed or Jay Johnny was, and they brought their A game.
Yeah,
I mean, they were banging because I was between on the low. A lot of people just stayed over because the other room with Craig, called Craig and Stacey, it was banging, and because he played a dope Music Institute set, but it was just too tight.
I couldn't believe it.
It was just too tight, and we got a little room next door, and plus, G and Jay, they brought it. I mean, that was that combination right there for Carl and them to really. That means that they're listening. That means that Carl Craig, who's doing music, syncing and everything, is listening to him.
Yeah, Jay's a king. Man.
Yeah,
Jay's a young king, man. I'm so happy that the young brother's out here and he out here representing, and you know what I'm saying. He's aware of his ancestors, you know what I'm saying, and Obatala's like, you know
one thing though, I don't go out a whole lot like I used to, and probably don't, because I just don't. But I pay attention to everything that's going on.
Sure.
And when I saw the advertisement and I saw you on the ticket, I was like, hell yeah! I was so happy to see that. Because I mean, and that it wasn't one of those. It was one of those situations like, oh my God, finally somebody is like really paying attention to this dude. He's like getting the respect. Yes, I was so hyped. It was like the movement festival all over again. I just felt like, yes, I saw that ticket. I was like, thank you, and I was so happy. But then I wasn't able to come. But it was cool though. I was most definitely.
Listen,
best believe that.
Thank you for that.
Best believe that, because as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes.
Hard work pays off. You know what I'm saying. And when you put the work where it really counts, you know, that makes it even. That makes the fruit from the tree taste that much better.
Most definitely. Speaking of hard work,
Through it all.
We're going to take a pause because Hump the Grinder, y'all know who Hump the Grinder is, Hair Wars. He's doing a Hair Wars reunion in Las Vegas in January. So it's not a show. It's just hair people in the circuit getting together like a family reunion type of thing. So we're going to go out to Vegas, and he's I'm honored to be part of the team, and we're going to go out there and film some documentary stuff. So he's got some stuff going on. So we're going to play his little promo about Vegas.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Hump the Grinder. Get out of here.
30 plus years, Hair Wars strong, right?
Come on, man. Hump the Grinder. Thank you, Hump. Thank you. Thank you for creating a foundation for us to come in here and do what we do.
Yes. And as soon as we come back on the flip side, we're going to talk about the latest project.
Let's do that.
And we're going to share the latest video, because like I said, I'm so happy somebody's doing some visual. Keep it up. Keep it up. This is T. Carlita. This is Kafani. This is Waajeed for the In My House Techno Music Show, where the true stories are told and great music is definitely played. We will be right back.
Hair Wars producer Hump the Grinder invites you to the Hair Wars reunion in Las Vegas, Monday through Wednesday, January 15th through the 17th, 2018, for a series of parties and get-togethers. The hot spot will be the fabulous Luxor Hotel. If you're relevant, we'll see you at the Hair Wars reunion in Las Vegas. Make your plans now. For more info, go to hairwarsustour.com. It's entertainment, baby.
I just love Hair Wars.
Okay, this is T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show. We are back, and definitely, if you missed it, y'all better scroll back and catch it, because true stories are definitely being told today. So let's fast forward and move into today. What is really going on? What's really good? Let's talk about the newest and the latest, and this other hot. Look, that other video that I looked at, and maybe they have, maybe you haven't, but you're gonna see it today. Sure. Let's talk about that.
The latest video is called Kingdom. It's from the new EP, a 3-track EP called Through It All, and that came out in October, the middle to the latter part of October. And yeah, it's the latest video featuring the GrandMaster, Kafani. And yeah, it was another great collaboration. The video was shot by Sai and Kai of Sai Media, and yeah, they killed it. You know, like they had a really powerful vision along, because you know I always kind of set the terms and say like, yeah, I want this, I want that, and then you know like with a lot of the collaborators, I honor them enough for them to be able to come in and say like, well, I see it like this, and then we kind of shape a vision that answers everybody's needs.
Okay.
And Sai came in and you know he did all the digital photography for the piece. And Kai, she actually shaped the vision for it, you know, with all the feathers and the black dust, and you know what I'm saying, like, so yeah, it was a great collaboration, and I would say, you know, just visually it's stunning and
artistic beyond
beautiful, you know, and
yes.
There's a lot of little hidden jewels in there that you know, if people are paying attention, that you know, like it says a lot about you know, our people's place in the United States, and how the videos are a reflection of that. So we won't give it all to you though.
No, not at all. So something that I really what I found quite intriguing is your posture in the video, and in both you don't say anything. You just kind of like, you're there and you're just sitting there like in just meditation, or just real still, and then this guy is just doing everything around you. But then eventually you'll clap, or you'll turn it, you'll pound it up a little bit.
Sure.
But I really like the way, I mean, the element of you just in your posture and you're sitting there, and then so he's like your muse, and he's channel. You guys are intertwined somehow, because you don't see.
He's like my flex.
It's a muse. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like I remember Elijah Muhammad said that in the face of turmoil, we must remain strikingly upright. And that was part of the idea of using the chair and the posture, and just when your enemies is burning flags in front of your face, you know what I'm saying, and they're killing you, you know what I'm saying, like you have to remain cool and calm and know that your base is in God, so that's part of that. And then I just made more room for Kafani to kill it.
This is true.
with the dust.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Yeah, you can listen. Look, they said they're gonna have New York come out.
Yeah,
so let's talk about this. So the black seed. Can you go into a little bit of detail, or can you not?
You threw the black seed because it was black sand that they had.
Okay, so can he talk about that, or is that top secret? It's your video.
It's up to,
he can talk. Okay, all right. So you can talk
say.
about whatever. Let's just so when they see it, they know what it means.
So a lot of people have been asked. I even saw one post this side said it was deep, like his interpretation of it. And many people have interpretation of it. And there'll be many interpretations because it came from the Most High. It wasn't like they gave me a week to what's it called. Matter of fact, he told me another song.
Yes.
The other song on his EP.
Yeah.
I ain't been listening to him, groove to it all. And then the day he was like, yo, I talked to my mans, I talked to my mom. And he said, Kingdom. I was like, oh, you changed the song? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. So people don't really realize that what they got was right then. So one of the things that was funny, so Sai and them, even at first, we were kind of like, when Kai was like, yeah, the black feathers, and me and him was like, hold on, yo. Black feathers, what is this about? But when they filmed it, like their vision was so like the way their eye is so crazy. So they like, okay, we had the black sand just creep up on. They were like, oh, okay, person, I creeped. Although most people don't really realize. I was born in Flint, grew up in the D, but I did live in Senegal, West Africa. Medina Baynes, my sheikh house. She said I do have a diploma in Arabic. I do teach Arabic, and I do speak 6 languages. So when I was creeping up on that sand, I was thinking about what I wanted to do. And in Arabic, they say that the whole universe is in the dot under the ba. In Arabic, they call it a nukta. And so when I put my hand in the sand, and when I brush to the right and left, it is the curved shape of a ba, one of the first or second letters in Arabic. And then I took a hand from it and I was praying and I made the dot. And then the first letter of it is Aleph, and I pushed it up. And Aleph and Ba together make a word called Abu, which means father. Or going back into the essence of that first, or that principle. So that Ba, the feminine, the masculine, all together. Then it was like, yo, dance through. I was like, well, it does. I was like, wow, that's deep. That does make sense. So all of that came together, and it was just a real. You have to say it's a real ethereal point. And me, they kept getting afraid because I'm dancing in sand, I'm dancing in powder, and they like, yo, please don't fall. Fall. But they got some. I didn't fall. It's about being sure-footed. Even in one part of the video, because even when they had the black sand, and then they wanted to bring some talcum powder. And amongst the house dance circuit, when you talk about talcum powder, you're talking about creme. Creme. That's what we used to do back in the day at the Institute. So when they put it down, I'm like, yo, this really makes sense. And so we went and the lighting.
Patrick.
That's what I'm saying. Because we did it in the latter part of the day, which was perfect, and the area in which we did. And what's beautiful about this, all of this is done in the D.
I know.
So I'm looking at him when he said that uprightness. I was thinking of the muse aspect of it, because I don't even know if they understood how I saw Shango. Because in Shango, at the end of the breakdown, they go to a breakdown where you're turning your face. And when you turn your face, it goes into the blackness of your face.
Yeah.
And then I show up.
Wow.
And I start to dance real slow. One of the craziest things that happened in the video, a lot of people don't see, is that a moth flies through.
I saw it.
Yeah, he was. And that's like a sign right till he flies soon. So when I get this on this one, even when we did it, and they were like, okay, we want you to sit behind the chair while he's in the throne. I ran up behind the chair and I grabbed on that and I went on my tippy toes, and so I was like, yo, where's Kafani? I was like, I'm back here. I was thinking if I can hide behind this, and they positioned him to the point where you couldn't see me, and I danced out. I can emerge out of the whole other thing. So that's a whole nother coming from that triangle, coming out of and being a mute, and it gave me a reason to feel like I was, and people can see it, and I'm thankful they did, becoming an embodiment of the music. And me personally, I think I've had something that many dancers haven't had, especially house dancers. First of all, being the first house dancers on Apollo was us who kept sounding back in the day. And I did another production, but these two here, not many house dancers can say they had a cameo, like you're a pivotal, and you know you moving through the one, and I noticed that most high, and that's a blessing. So when he asked me about this one, I was like, he said, yo, finally, we need to do this.
I know I switched the last minute. You know what I mean?
We gotta do this again, but he did tell me, so I'm on, because I'm real precise. When we did Shango, I listened to it for 3 days. And when I say 3 days, every time I was,
you had to get it.
Yeah.
Because I had to let my body, I didn't want to go over there and, mind you, for both of these videos, I didn't make any routine.
No.
The routine happened right there.
Yeah.
Everything that happened right there.
But you studied the music before you got there.
Oh no,
right?
But you know what's good about it?
Did you study Kingdom though?
But remember, I was listening to Kingdom.
Yeah.
And what was the
Get Down.
Get Down was banging too.
Banging.
But the way they were made, I just kept listening to both of them over and over again. Mind you, the Kingdom that I had was a elongated version.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, wow, that joint is
Plus, you didn't know that was the video that she was supposed to be dancing to. They switched the style up.
I did. I took full
that's really good.
He was like, yo, he was like, no.
Who was it?
Who was it told you to flip it? But
it was Zonell had who's another respect. What up though? Zonell, he's a well-respected person inside of this culture that we honor. You know what I'm saying? Like a great DJ, great editor, like you know what I'm saying, like a phenomenal talent. And it was actually Zonell, a good friend of mine named Benji B in London, who suggested like the tracks that they loved from the album. Now most people, the larger response based off the poll that we took, people responded to the track Get Down, which is the A1, the very first track on the new EP. But in my opinion, like Kingdom is very much like Shango, where it's like it's the B-side that people kind of pay no attention to, you know what I'm saying? And we want to bring prominence to the underground, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? Not just the obvious tracks, like, you know what I mean? But we want to give you and support the jewels that we feel like you need to have, not the joints that you want to have.
That makes sense.
So, Kingdom was that track on this EP, I felt. And Zonell was just like, man, I love this one. And then, you know, like all the homies who I know that love really deep cuts kind of lean towards Kingdom. And then that's why we kind of chose that. That's why I chose that last minute for the video.
Okay.
No, but it was dope. And plus, I know, so when he said it and I listened, I said, you're right, it's a thing. And it just grew more on it. Even in Shango, which is going back to so much deep in when he said in a traditional African essence is the best way I can say it. Even some people with me being in the vote or something, they say, bro, why would you do something Shango? I was like, why not, bro? What are you talking about? You know, like
people say that.
Why? Oh yeah. Oh man, it was. But you gotta tell us.
Wait, no. Let me tell you something though. This is interesting.
You gotta tell us about that.
This is something very interesting that you brought that up because in my mind, like, okay, I've had Strings on the show several times, and one time I had Strings and his wife Mary on the show, and I, you know, like I said, I don't go out, but I hear a lot of stuff. I keep my ears wide open. And a lot of people look at you guys as Muslims, and you shouldn't be doing this, and why are you at the club,
Really?
oh my gosh. And,
I mean, it's even worse for
and
me.
the girls, Mary shouldn't be dancing. You know, I'm like, how do you overcome? Yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
I mean, well, the only way to overcome it is they have to realize I have to be myself.
Yeah.
No matter what religion, no matter what belief system you have, no matter what, you have to be yourself. And I don't lie. I don't lie to people because I give sermons and everything. I do discourses. It's something I have to speak at this weekend. But even in that, when we did it, there was another ethic that I felt change when we did Kingdom. Because when I was thinking of Kingdom, I was thinking of royalty. I was thinking about because when he said a chair, I was thinking he was sitting in a throne.
And that's how I felt.
That's what it was.
That's what the throne.
Yeah.
It was like, and with the light, cause see, I'm looking at the light behind them.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that whole ethic and that thing, and the clothing that they had me, it was a dark emerald green. Matter of fact, they picked the outfit that I got made the last time I was in West Africa in December.
Let's go.
And emerald green is one of the colors. The Prophet Musa had someone who tested him that God sent to him to guide him called Khidr. The color for him is emerald green. And so when I was in that mode and that whole muse, it was something totally different coming from me. So when people look at it, they will see the ancestral African. Then you in this one, you feel a lot of African and Asiatic influences. Even when it was deep, we feed off each other so well that in the early part of the day, just to clean out the vibe, this is a hard working bro. He's sweeping around. Usually you got assistants for that. And so he did some sage burning. I was like, yo, we need to really blast out this place. I called my wife up real quick. Yo, I got to get my crown, bring my incense. So,
yeah.
So at the beginning, so I started burning incense just to get the vibe. And Sai was like, yo, because they had this spray smoke, but it wasn't hanging. Right, he was like, yo, could you just burn that in front? And it just wound up being the right density, the right
That's how we started
smoke,
the video.
the right everything. That's how we started the video. And so really, it was a deeply spiritual ritual that went on that cleansed the place. And everything was, it was on from there.
Wow. I also want to say big up to Patrick, who I can't think of his last name.
Patrick,
who was the lighting designer. He created the light panels that were inside of the piece. He's a studio mate or a flatmate, art studio mate with Ellen Rutt, who does all the designs. For all of my releases thus far, at least especially the last two. And Patrick's, what he's doing with light design is something that's really phenomenal and groundbreaking. And we were able to use some of his pieces for the video that helped illuminate those really fantastic patterns. And it was just a combination of really great people at a really great time. And man,
you couldn't even have planned it that perfectly.
Wow.
No, seriously.
So before we let y'all introduce the video, the ultimate question is, where can they get it? How can they get it? Where's that?
Well, you can check Shango and Through It All is available on all digital media. Okay. Amazon, iTunes, Bandcamp.
And what about your vinyl purist?
The vinyl purist, I'm sad to say at this point that we've sold out.
Oh!
We've sold out.
Man.
The vinyl is available no more. So, there was a point where I thought let's keep putting these out. But I feel like.
So if y'all got it, y'all real special.
The early bird gets the best one.
All right, all the DJs that got it, don't be leaving that in the crate.
You gotta get in early. You gotta get in early. So
don't y'all leave it in the crate. Now I'm in your spot. No, just kidding.
So we've officially stopped pressing both of those pieces. So if you want to get it, you have to go and get it resold or go to UR. Submerge has copies there.
Okay. All right, y'all better get to Submerge.
That's the only place in the D, Submerge, so go there.
Wow. Well, I do have my Shango right here. I did get this one hot off the press. I think when it first dropped, I was like, I need to go find this.
Yeah, you got that from Threads, right?
Yes, I did. I got it from Threads. Nice. I sure did.
Big up to the folks at Threads for the support.
So, I better get to Submerge tomorrow. Okay, don't y'all all go to Submerge at the same time. Let me get there first. I'm going to have to call John. John, hold me one. So you're not going. So once this pressing is out, you're gonna that's the collector's item, right?
I think we might do a special limited press for May.
Okay.
Movement.
Oh yeah,
when we open up a Dirt Tech Rec store in Submerge.
Exactly.
Like a little pop-up shop, so we might have copies available for that. But past that,
he said, "Might y'all."
It is. It is. You gotta get in early. So
that's true. And then you know what? I think that's the beautiful thing because it's like the limited edition. If you got it, consider it a classic. It's rare, and it makes it more valuable in the future too.
Cherish it. Yeah,
it's not mass produced. It's like, oh, this is very special because I got one and you don't, because you waited. Oh, slept on it. Oh, call me John.
Or didn't know.
Or didn't know.
But you know.
Well, you know now. It's at Submerge, so you better get over there.
Police can hold you accountable for a crime even if you didn't know you was committing it. So
there you go.
We're gonna use their logic on that.
Well, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that everything fell in line for us to be able to sit here and have this conversation today. And I will be, I'll be seeing you behind the lens. I won't tap you while you're in your zone. I'll photograph him from a distance.
Y'all fam, if it's somebody I know, it's cool. It's just but you gotta know when to and when not to. You just have to know. But most people don't. Like you said, they be in different elements.
Yeah, people don't care, man.
Yeah, that's respect. But I take it to sometimes some people be so either literally intoxicated or intoxicated with the moment where they're not.
You gotta honor that.
Yeah. And they don't mean.
And she didn't mean no harm.
She didn't. That's why I stopped and
I think I remember looking down and seeing you talking to somebody that was kind of like, I felt like you was teaching somebody something. I was just like,
he always teaches.
I'm gonna go back to the record.
He's always.
I was dope when she did it. She was like, "Man, you move exactly like that guy on Shango. Do you know him?" I was like. That is, those are really dope moments. That one in what we talked about earlier was when Shari, when I saw you, and those guys came out with the real big Mad Max car.
I remember that wasn't the craziest car.
Oh, that joint was crazy, and they're banging Shango. I mean, loud.
Yeah.
It was like they had speakers on them. It was loud as a crazy car.
I got a picture of that car.
That car was out cold, so I'm like, yo, I'm walking out, man, I'm going to the car, and I'm like, yo, I was like, oh no, it was real scary.
Yeah. Did it sound or look like?
So as soon as I got there, I tried to call him. But we right by Canada, so my phone messed up.
Oh yeah, got an international hookup.
So I had to get my wife to film it, and I went in. I said, "That's my song," and I'm up there dancing there, and the guy jumps out of the car. He's like, "Yeah, this is my song too." He goes, "Oh shit, that is you in the video." So he's dancing with me. He's like, "Yo," so it was
that's good.
That's priceless, right here.
It was a dope moment.
Priceless.
I tried to context, so we just have to thank the Most High for all the signs that we get.
For sure. He puts them out there. You just gotta have ears to hear, eyes to see.
There's a lot of deaf and blind people, though.
But not us.
Nope.
Never will be. That's for sure. But thank you so much. Now, who wants to introduce the video?
I'll introduce the video.
I think he should, don't you?
Yeah.
I guess I'll start by saying thank you for allowing us to come and speak truths that nobody else has heard. You definitely got some information that nobody else is aware of today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And thank you for your work for our community too.
Thank you.
Because we have to. If we don't tell our own stories, nobody else will. And we all know that as like elder Detroiters. So it's important to cement our place inside of this culture. And with that said, I want to present my new video, my latest video. It's called Kingdom. We was in sync. I thought we was in sync. So
that looks like a clip from the video right here.
It's called Kingdom.
I'm the silent muse. Kingdom.
It's called Kingdom, and it's featuring my brother Kafani, the GrandMaster. And thanks again for having us.
Thank you. We out.
You are in my house, hosted by T. Carlito, where the true stories are told and great music is played.